Okay, in this video we're just going to look at how you can generate reports from Google Analytics, and specifically we're looking at this for exporting our old UA data. So UA stands for Universal Analytics, and now we're moving into GA4, Google Analytics 4. So you can see up on here, as the day I'm recording this, we've got 30 days left, and then our UA tags are then going to essentially disappear. So there's not going to be anything there left, whereas now the tags still exist. You can go back, you can do a bit of reporting and stuff, but they stopped collecting data last year, so there's no recent data in there, but they still sort of exist. So what we're going to do is, these are sort of all just non-dev, they're not really that techie techniques to kind of actually export this data. We'll go through quickly how to export a single report, and then how you can do batch reports as well, and we'll kind of we'll jump back and forth and go through bits. And if you've got questions, obviously just ask in the comments at the end, but we'll jump through that now. So first thing we need to do is jump into our UA tag or our UA property for Google Analytics. So this is the old one that we want. You can see it looks like it's completely dead because it's not been acquiring anything for a long time. So what we can do is go into, for example, say we'll go into the technology report, and then we can go back. We'll have to go back a fair bit in this, and this is something to remember obviously when you do your reports. If we go back and we do January 22 to December 22, so all of 2022, and then you can see now we've got some actual data back. It's not very useful in the metric that I've picked, but potentially let's go into something slightly different. No, we can't do age. We probably can't do gender actually either. Let's see if we can do geo. So there you can see we've got our geo data there. So this is all the countries that people visited from in 2022. And maybe we want to export that so we can match it up with new data from GA4 going forwards, for example. So if you want to do that, just with this one report, you can come up, you can hit export, you can bring that out as, say, a Google Sheet. To be honest, whichever way you want it, you can have a PDF. That might be your preference, just to have it in a document. Google Sheets obviously quite useful because you can edit, update them, share them with people. Excel as well can be useful. So if we go to import this data just for Google Sheets, and then you can see here just it's done that kind of export for us. So we've got all the data here, and we can come up and we can do things like insert chart. And then you can see we could do things like add that into a chart if we wanted to. So you can see there we've got the bar chart of all the bits we want. Obviously you can come through, you could change it to whatever you want really, combo charts, whatever you want, but you can kind of see, you could come in, maybe, to be honest, for this actually that's probably a bit of a better visualization, but yeah, so that's the basic kind of view of doing that. So you can come in, you can get your one report out like that, in whichever format you want, but obviously that's quite a tedious way to get things out because you might want page reports, acquisition reports from various sources, all that kind of stuff. And that's where the tool comes in, the Google Analytics, Google have sort of put together. So there's this, it's for Chrome, so you need to be using the Chrome browser, but they've got this Google Analytics spreadsheet add-on. We'll click on it. I've already installed it, so all you'll need to do is be logged into a Chrome account or Google account, install it, and then it's not essentially going to do anything straight away, but once you've installed it, it's going to allow you to generate reports. So what you can do is, if we go back to where were we in this one, they essentially they give you, I'll link all of this in the description, but they give you a sample report that you can copy from. I've actually got it open here, so look, you can make a copy from this common reports one. So if we make a copy, like I say, this is just as easy as you need to be logged into a Google account. You can make a copy of this in Google Sheets, and it all looks kind of complicated, but actually all they've done is they're just using some of the GA metrics here with a date range. What you'll need to do, this has just been copied, you'll need to come in and you'll need to change the view ID here. So my view ID, I've got a copy of it here. Look, this is my view ID. So if you don't know where to find that, it is literally here. It's this one right here. So just take that number, jump back into here, and then you just need to you just need to paste that value in. Oh, sorry, am I in the right one there? Yeah, you just need to copy that, paste that value into all of these. Make sure you do it, or some of the reports will have the wrong value, which obviously you don't want. So just make sure your value is updated across all of those. And then the next bit that you'll probably want to do, what we've just done is a report then from the start of 2022, 1st of January, to the end of 2022. So what you might want to do is put in, for this, we could do the 31st of December. And again, you can just change that across here. One thing you're not going to want to do is sometimes you can do that by copying things across, but the trouble is it increments it by 1 every time. So you'll have inconsistent reports, and the same with your number. If you do this, it might increment your number by 1. Doesn't always work that way, but just be sure that you've got all of these are the right view ID, all your dates are consistent, because otherwise you'll end up with some quite strange reports. So then what we'd do is we've got all our bits in here. Like I say, these are just the basic ones they've given us. We've not had to write any of this. Then what you can do is just come up to extensions, Google Analytics, and this is our add-on now that we've installed. And what we can do is just hit run reports. It will say working for a bit. And that should come up with a pop-up in a second to tell us it's worked, unless these dates are incorrect. We'll see. Actually, it is going to come up with some incorrect dates, because these are 2023, or this one is for some reason. So one of the reports is actually going to come back with an error, but that's fine. Don't worry about that. Probably why this is taking a bit of time. Usually it's fairly quick. We should have actually changed these dates up here. So not all these reports are going to come back correctly. We can go back and we can have a look at some of these. And you can see it's just creating each one has its own tab, so it's just creating the tabs for all of these. You can see there we've had an error. So actually the error there, what we'll do is come back to our first tab, which is our report configuration. The error there, I believe, that one's a problem. That's a problem, that's a problem, that's a problem. So if we have a look at this now, that all looks good to me. Go back, run it again. Like I say, just double check these things before you run the reports. That's my fault for not checking that. And then when we rerun them, they should come back without any errors. Oh, although actually I've not checked that one again. So we can actually cancel that just a second, so you don't have to let it run all the way through. So my checking of this has not been very good. And there we go. And then if we run our reports, you can see all our reports are in there and they're all kind of working. So again, what you probably want to do is maybe do kind of like visualizations of them. So where we've got the some of these you might not actually want, like the campaign reports, because maybe you don't run ads. So, obviously that's not going to be very useful, but you can do things like you've got sessions and page views and things like that for each of the days. Again, you can just come up, you can create charts and things out of those. Line charts and things like that are fairly good for that kind of data. So you can come in and you can do what you want really with all of that stuff. It's not, it's completely up to you. Obviously select all of the data when you do it, but you might want to run shorter reports than that, or, it's completely up to how you want to do it. like I say, if you don't want things like, in my opinion, this is quite a pointless one, daily goals, because it doesn't really bring back any decent data. These two are both for ads, so if you want, you can just delete the columns, just right click at the top, delete column. So that's all easy enough to just kind of get rid of. And then when you run the reports, you can also delete these tabs as well if you want, campaign performance. So you can just delete them, and then when the report reruns, it just won't create those new ones. So that's just a quick, easy way to get rid of them. Obviously, don't bother running them initially if you don't want them. And another thing you can do, because you might sort of think, actually, these are not really what I want. You do have options here, so you could do filters and segments, and you can actually send it off to different places, the kind of spreadsheet. So there's bits and pieces you can do in there to customize the reports. But also you can customize the metrics and dimensions. So for example, just here, I've just cut this right down, and this, for me, I always find this a very useful report. So the page view report. So you're essentially just saying, from the 1st of December 2022, again, you can change this to, we can just do it for that year, and then it's just the users. We use the page path as the dimension. That shows us the kind of URL for it. And then I like to order them as well. So in this order bit, you can throw in a bit of code to order it, and I'll quickly show you how to do that in a second. But I do it by descending, and then that way, when I run my report, you can see in here, I've got the URL for it, and then I've got the, you might want to do that by page name, but I just do it by the URL. And then you've got it all in order by the amount of people that viewed it. And again, you can just highlight it, make yourself up some visualizations and bits like that. Probably not as useful for this one, to be honest, but again, it's possible. You can do whatever you like with this kind of data. So it's just coming in and just exporting that out. But the best way to create your own reports, if you want to, just come to here. Again, I'll leave this in there. It's called Dimensions Metrics Explorer. You can come in and you can literally just grab everything you need out of here, really, for just search things in. So if you need something like, no, that's not a thing, say page view, for example, you've got page views, entrance rate, page views per session. It's all here. You can do a bit of tweaking, and like I say, if your sheet is wrong, like, it's not a problem. You just basically tweak it to work, and then run it again. It will be fine. It's not an issue if any of these are broken or anything. It will just run an error, come back, do it again. You can actually there is a thing in here, so you can go to Google Analytics. Again, this is the add-on, and then we don't really, I won't do schedule reports in this, because like I say, we're looking at this from a UA point of view, so it's sort of it's all legacy data anyway. You could do this for newer reports if you wanted to, but if we come in and we hit create report, it comes up with this little window here. So in there you can just put my new report, and then I want my website, and then for the metrics, you can do whatever you want on this. It's not really tied down to anything. You can see you can get everything in there. So if I just do users, dimensions, session duration, and then we'll just put all users in the segment, and then we can create that. And then you can see all it's done is just added a new column on. And then we come back up to extension, run the reports, and then what you'll find is it just adds on a new tab here. So hopefully this has all been kind of clear. It's a little bit strange the way some of it works, but sorry, actually, what I should have mentioned, when you do this, annoyingly, it just runs it like this, 30 days ago to yesterday, and what you'll need to do is just put a new date in. I forgot to mention that, sorry. So if we just come up, run the report again, So basically the report ran, we've got a new tab called My New Report, but it ran an empty report because there was no data in that date range. So if you are running empty reports, just remember that's sort of why, so you just need to look at that. So this is, it's not super useful, but it's users in certain session durations. But yeah, you can run whatever reports you want. Like I say, out of here, it's totally flexible to run whatever you like, and they give you this example sheet to do it from. So it's quite easy to just sort of get up and started with it, and it's much quicker than just having to come into Google Analytics and export every type of report individually. It's much quicker to just tweak all the bits in that spreadsheet and do it that way. And there are more kind of techie dev ways to pull out reports into things like BigQuery. But, in this video, we're just sort of covering how to do it this way. It's a simple do-it-yourself type method where you don't really need a developer, and you don't need to be a developer yourself to do it. So hopefully you've sort of found this useful. I'll try and link to all the resources I can in the comments, in the description. And if it has helped, give the video a like. If you want to see more content like this, then please subscribe.